Tonight, we're learning more about the 6 young people killed in a devastating car crash in Barrie.
Curtis was full of life, always willing to help anyone.
The victims all in their 20s, a community now deep in mourning as police investigate how the crash happened. Plus,
if it's something toxic or like what they said, then I'd want to bring my son right in to emerge.
a warning to diners after several people fell seriously ill after eating at a restaurant in Markham. York Region Public Health now investigating possible food poisoning. And
as of last month, there have been 27 femicides reported in Ontario.
New details in a fatal double stabbing in North York. A man now facing murder charges in the deaths of his ex-wife and daughter. Good evening, I'm Kelda Yoon. We are learning more details about the young victims of this weekend's devastating crash in Barrie. All 6 victims, 4 men and 2 women, have now been identified. As friends and family are left to mourn, police are continuing their investigation into exactly how this tragedy happened. Ali Chiasson has the latest from Barrie.
Flowers are piling up and mourners continue to stop by at this country road crash site. It happened sometime between Saturday night and Sunday morning. An impact so severe it killed all 6 young men and women inside. Their friends say that after an evening out all together, they lost touch with the 6 around 1 o'clock in the morning. When they didn't come home, their families reported them missing. Barrie police found all 6 friends at 2 o'clock in the morning, their car wrecked at this construction site along the road. Locals tell me this road is a popular shortcut, but it's been closed since the spring for sewer construction. And that explains the large pit in the road that the car appears to have crashed into. It also explains why the Ministry of Labour is on site as well. The victims are Luke West, Curtis King, River Wells, Haley Marin, Jersey Mitchell, and Jason O'Connor, all in their early 20s.
Curtis was full of life and always willing to help anyone, everyone. And yeah, 100%. I just ask everyone, please give all of the affected families some time to grieve. And yeah, just be respectful. Just give us some space.
Some family members are just being escorted back from the construction pit where the car fell into. They were escorted here by police. You can imagine how difficult this must be for them, but it also speaks to how desperate they are for answers. The investigation into this crash is expected to take some time. Police will be looking at whether intoxication, speed, or possibly poor visibility around the construction site on the closed road could have led to this. Ali Chiasson, CBC News, Barrie, Ontario.
And meanwhile, public health officials in York Region are investigating a case of suspected food poisoning. This comes after several people became seriously ill after eating at a popular restaurant in Markham. Farah Morelli reports.
I'm here at Delight Restaurant and Barbecue in Markham, and public health authorities have now confirmed that several people here have fallen seriously ill after eating at this restaurant. We don't have a confirmation on how many people have gotten sick or how many people have been hospitalized, but what we're hearing from local doctors is that several people were hospitalized. We also don't have a confirmation of what caused the people to fall sick, but we do know this is a very popular restaurant here in Markham. It specializes in Hong Kong cuisine and dishes from Hong Kong. We spoke to a few people who came by here today planning to eat, who had no idea that the restaurant was closed today because of what happened. Take a listen.
I see a lot of people visit this restaurant for sure.
It's popular?
Yes, very popular.
I mean, I brought my little boy here, he's 2, and everything was fine.
It's hard to believe nowadays. And it just opened just a few months ago, isn't it?
We also had a chance to speak to a man who ate here last night with his family, including with his 12-year-old son. He is looking for more information about what he should be doing and is concerned about the health now of his family.
I was trying to find out what it is, so I don't know where to reach out to. If it's something toxic or like what they said, then I'd want to bring my son right in to emerge.
Now, the restaurant remains closed today. We've tried reaching the owners by phone and knocked a couple of times, but there's been no answer. York Region Public Health says the restaurant is cooperating with their investigation. At this point, the health authority is advising anybody who ate here on Saturday and Sunday to monitor for symptoms, and if they do start to feel anything, to get medical help as soon as possible. Meanwhile, the investigation continues into just what caused all these illnesses. Farah Morali, CBC News, Markham.
Street racing, stunt driving, and vandalism are just a few of the crimes that police are investigating in Wasaga Beach after a large group of car enthusiasts gathered there this weekend. Greg Ross spoke to one witness there who says some residents were afraid to leave their homes after their streets were taken over.
This video, posted to social media, shows the massive party that took over the streets of Wasaga Beach Saturday night and into Sunday morning.
They were smoking their tires, doing little quick drags up and down the street here on Main Street behind us over here.
This woman says the people involved went too far.
It was just one continuous noise after another, constant for hours and hours.
But that wasn't even the worst of it. She also saw the crowd turn on police as they tried to break things up.
And then all of a sudden I hear this commotion and I'm looking out and I see this guy. I didn't see him getting on it, but all of a sudden I'm looking out and the gentleman's jumping and he smashes the front windshield of the police cruiser.
Police say there were 2 cruisers damaged, while officers and even a police dog were still inside the vehicles.
Thankfully, no injuries to the officers or the canine as well. However, the safety of our officers was compromised.
Police say a number of businesses were damaged over the weekend, including this Walmart. In addition to stunt driving in the parking lot, police say a group of people tried to break into the store.
We are presently investigating numerous different incidents of mischief, Highway Traffic Act offenses as well.
Wasaga Beach Mayor Nina Bifalici is questioning why the OPP didn't have more resources on hand this weekend. In a statement, she said there were many examples brought to the attention of the town where laws were being broken and police intervention was not witnessed. This is unacceptable to the residents of Wasaga Beach. Some residents say it's lucky nobody was seriously injured.
Especially when they're ripping up and down the street like that and people are standing in the middle of the street, someone's going to get hurt. We just don't want to see that here. I mean, it's all well and good if you want to have fun, but do it safely.
There were a number of arrests made this weekend, and police expect many more to come. The OPP are reviewing videos posted to social media as well as surveillance video, hoping to identify those responsible. Greg Ross, CBC News, Wasaga Beach.
Let's go to Dahlia Ashry now with a first look at the forecast. And Dahlia, it was hot and humid out there today, and we can expect some thunderstorms as we head into the overnight.
That's right, Kelda. I mean, during the day, we felt that humidity. It was really high, making it feel more like mid-30s. And there's also rain on its way and thunderstorms. So that's really the story over the next 2 days, is the risk of thunderstorm and the rain. Now, the daytime highs in Toronto today was 31 degrees, Windsor 30, Barrie 28. And are we expecting any rain tonight? And the answer is yes. We're keeping an eye on a severe thunderstorm. And as well, that will carry into tomorrow as you head into work. So we can start to see that rain and thunderstorm making its way into tomorrow morning. And that will carry through for the rest of the day. It's basically the warm and cold fronts that are coming in from the west going into the GTA for the next day or two. But then Wednesday, it'll start to clear up and you have clear skies. As for tonight, the temperature will drop a little bit. It'll be 20 degrees. There's winds gusting up to 10 kilometers an hour. Tomorrow, that humidity is sticking around and the damp conditions making it feel more like 33 degrees. So bring your umbrellas to work because you'll need it.
Thanks for the tip. Thanks so much, Dahlia. A woman has died after she was pulled from Lake Ontario near Oakville today. Halton police were called to Coronation Park this morning after witnesses reported multiple people in distress in the water. The woman was found near the shore, and despite life-saving efforts by first responders, she died. A 10-year-old boy was also rescued from the water. He was unharmed. Police say the boy and the woman are not related, but were at the park together. A Toronto man is facing murder charges in the fatal stabbings of 2 women in North York. It happened last Friday. Police have now confirmed the suspect and 2 victims were family members. The latest tragedy, again, shining a light on the prevalence of intimate partner violence. Tyler Cheese has more.
A tragic scene on a North York stretch of Bathurst Street Friday afternoon. Police arrived around 3:30 p.m. to find 3 people stabbed. Soon after, 2 of them died. Elvie and Angelica Sigod, a mother and daughter, succumbed to their wounds at the scene.
The accused has been identified as 46-year-old Godfrey Sig-on of Toronto. The accused in this matter is the ex-husband and father of the 2 deceased.
Godfrey, who was also stabbed in the incident, has been charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder. This disturbing act of violence has left loved ones like Daniel Levy to try to make sense of the loss.
It was emptiness. Yeah, it was emptiness. And sadness, anger. The whole point of having having a dad or having somebody supposed to look after you, supposed to care for you.
Experts say this kind of brutality toward female family members is sadly not uncommon.
I am very saddened, but not surprised. Unfortunately, femicides are often done by current or former intimate partners or family members.
There have been 27 femicides reported in Ontario since November of last year. 12 of those were perpetrated by intimate partners. Another 5 were committed by family members.
I would call it a crisis. Not only we need to be concerned, we need to be doing something about it. We need immediate action, including increased government collaboration.
In the meantime, Levy just wants his friend to be remembered.
She's very witty, funny. She had an effect on everyone who she met.
A GoFundMe campaign has been established to help send the victims' bodies to family in the Philippines. Tyler Cheese, CBC News, Toronto.
The Ford government voted today to fast-track its long-term care legislation without public hearings. The controversial bill would allow hospital patients to be transferred to a long-term care home that's not of their choosing. That's now one step closer to becoming law. And while the government won't hear from the public on the matter, it did hear from the opposition. Lorenda Redicott has more.
All those in favor of the motion will please say aye.
Aye. The government majority easily won the vote. No matter how loud the opposition raised their voices, it confirms consultation will not happen. The government will not hear from families or experts before passing their changes to long-term care.
Is the government refusing to hold hearings because they know their plan won't work and they don't want to hear it?
They are on the waiting list for long-term care. Medical professionals have said that you're better serviced in a long-term care home, Mr. Speaker. That is what we are trying to accomplish here.
The Premier brought up previous quotes by NDP members raising the issue of having people in hospital beds who need long-term care.
They're saying they shouldn't be in the hospitals. Next day, they should be in the hospitals. Make up your mind.
Thank you. The interim NDP leader says the issue is being allowed to move people without consent.
Speaker, just to be clear, we don't advocate coercion of the frail and the elderly.
The Premier says long-term care is what around 2,000 people now in hospital require, and moving them will help relieve hospital overcrowding.
That's a home versus a hospital that you're stuck in a room with 4 other patients. The alarms are going off, bells are going off. That would be cruel to leave a loved one, any parent in this province, in a hospital. We need them in a home.
There will be 2 hours of official debate time on this motion. This afternoon, opposition members used debate about the throne speech to talk about this.
Bill 7. Well, we didn't see that come into the throne speech, did we? Nary a mention.
Opposition parties say they've been told families could be moved to a home up to 300 kilometres away if they're in the north, 100k in most of southern Ontario, 30 kilometres in cities including Toronto. Late last week, the government said no decisions have been made, but consultations are happening.
Hazard a guess to say that families that are in that position right now, most of them don't know about this bill and won't know what's coming down the pipe. That's why doing it so quickly is a problem.
It's unclear exactly when this bill will become law, but it's expected to happen later this week. Lorenda Redicott, CBC News.
Welcome back. Federal cabinet ministers say their task force in charge of tackling long wait times and backlogs is making a difference. They say hiring extra staff at airports and visa and immigration offices has been working, but they admit a lot more work needs to be done.
Nobody should be congratulating themselves for having done their jobs. We are by no stretch of the imagination out of the woods yet. The focus will continue to be on Canadians and the results they expect and deserve from this. or any other government.
Along with more hiring, the ministers say they are working to apply technological solutions, such as more online services and digital tracking systems. And many Canadians have seen their travel plans disrupted by long lines and frustrating waits. Student visas, passports, and immigration forms have also been subject to long delays. Well, many Canadians have likely uncorked a bottle of wine or cracked open a cold one or a few this summer, but that brings back an old question. How much alcohol is considered safe to consume? As Joanna Romeliotis finds out, it's far less than what many may assume.
You might want to put down your drink to hear this. No amount of alcohol is safe.
Your risks start to increase at 1 standard drink per week, and really our main message is that less is better.
A new report from the Canadian Centre on Substance Use and Addiction says the science has evolved, and so must the guidance. Low risk is now defined as 2 or fewer standard drinks a week. Any more than that, and the risks start climbing fast. 3 to 5 drinks a week increases the risk of developing certain cancers. More than 7 drinks a week also increases your risk of heart disease and stroke. The danger goes up with every additional drink.
Overall, it's not good for your health.
As for any health benefits, the report found none.
One of the reasons why previously the guidelines were higher is that there was this conception that alcohol had some benefits with regards to some cardiovascular diseases. More recent studies now find that that is probably not the case anymore.
The new proposed recommendations are a sobering shift from Canada's 2011 guidelines, which recommend no more than 15 drinks a week for men and 10 drinks a week for women. Many Canadians drink more than that, unaware of the health risks, especially for women, whose risk of developing breast cancer goes up with just 3 drinks a week.
I think that this is going to save a lot of lives.
Ali Garber's mom and grandmother had breast cancer. She found out about the link after she quit drinking.
I think that women in large part were not aware of the inherent increased risk of breast cancer that came with, a certain amount of alcohol consumption. I know I was floored when I learned about it.
Some public health authorities have already started warning people about the cancer risk. And more education is key, the report says, including labeling how many drinks are in alcohol containers. But cancer specialists want even more, including cancer warning labels like these that were piloted in Yukon liquor stores in 2017.
There's also evidence if you change the warning a little bit, you can increase awareness. So the more you drink, the more cancer you get. That's the bottom line.
The report says the proposed recommendations are a start, and more can be done to inform Canadians of the risks that come with every drink. Joanna Romeliotis, CBC News, Toronto.
Toronto Metropolitan University announced its new team name today, and they are hoping fortune favors the bold.
Add it up.
Previously known as the Ryerson Rams, they'll now be known as the TMU Bold. The team also has a new mascot, a falcon. Their previous mascot was a ram named Eggy, named after Egerton Ryerson. This all comes after TMU changed its name from Ryerson University earlier this year. It was one of the 22 recommendations made by the Standing Strong Task Force. The new team name will be used immediately while they work on uniforms and a physical mascot. Meanwhile, sport facilities at TMU will be updated with the new name over the course of the upcoming year. And you are looking at a live shot of the Toronto skyline tonight. A few showers tonight after a hot and muggy day. Currently, it is 26 degrees in the city. Let's go back to Dahlia now. And Dahlia, we can expect some damp conditions tomorrow.
That's right, Kelda. We're expecting these wet conditions to go into tomorrow, and there was that humidity that we experienced earlier today, and that will also continue until tomorrow. I mean, some areas in Ontario, like southwestern Ontario, saw heat warnings that were in effect for most of the day, and also severe thunderstorms in northern Ontario. So we're expecting that cold and warm front to move into the GTA and carry through those thunderstorms for tonight and tomorrow. The daytime highs in Toronto today, 31 degrees, Windsor 32 degrees, Barrie 28. Now, we will expect those thunderstorms that we were talking about earlier, but mix that into the winds as well. That's going to be gusting heavily tonight. As you can see, 54 kilometers an hour. And as we head into tomorrow, it'll start to calm down just a bit, but a pretty breezy day tomorrow along with that humidity. So it'll feel nice to a certain extent, but then you factor in that rain, and that's when you get the thunderstorms that carry through into the GTA. Now, if we take a look at what to expect tonight, there is the rain and the thunderstorm. You can see that it's making its way from southwestern Ontario, mixing in that cold front as well. And that's what gives us those risk of thunderstorms. And then tomorrow, those wet conditions will continue as well. We can see right here in southwestern Ontario, making its way into the GTA as you head into work. That will continue into the afternoon tomorrow. And then it will start to calm down a little bit in the evening. But then as you head into work on Wednesday, we get those beautiful clear skies and sunny conditions, which is what we all want to see heading into Wednesday and Thursday. Tonight, temperatures will drop to 20 degrees, a risk of a thunderstorm across most of the Golden Horseshoe, mostly cloudy conditions in Markham and Oshawa, but mostly thunderstorms is what we're keeping our eye on over the next 2 days. Like I said, that's for tomorrow as well. And then as we head into Wednesday and Thursday, look at that beautiful sunshine, which is what we love to see. And then Saturday, it'll feel more like 34 degrees. So that humidity is carrying through and the cold temperatures at night.
Thanks so much, Dahlia. "50 years after the last Apollo lunar mission, NASA's return to the moon has been delayed by a few more days. Today's scheduled launch of Artemis 1 has been put off until at least Friday.
This is Artemis Launch Control with an update. Launch Director Charlie Blackwell-Thompson has called a scrub.
A problem with cooling one of the 4 massive rocket engines kept the spacecraft on the ground. This test flight is supposed to be the first big step toward returning humans to the moon as early as 2025. Today's scrub was not completely unexpected. Similar problems were encountered during testing weeks ago. The next opportunity to launch comes on Friday. If that doesn't work out, NASA could try again next Monday. And that's our show for you tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you back here tomorrow night at 11. Have a great night.